Congratulations are in order to all the recipients of the 2024 National Orders, which are the highest awarded to esteemed citizens by the President of the country. So let's take you back now to Pretoria, where President Cyril Ramaphosa has bestowed the nation's highest awards on 32 citizens and eminent foreign nationals. And these individuals have contributed to the advancement of democracy and the improvement of the lives of South Africans. Our reporter, Junior Khumalo, is at the Sefako Makgato Presidential House in Pretoria and joins us now. Good afternoon, Junior. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Good afternoon to you, Masichaba. Indeed, the President has bestowed those orders on 35 individuals, 32 individuals actually today. That was a celebratory mood, especially to some of the loved ones of those individuals that received those orders today. But we also saw some of those family members, including Minister of Kokta, Thembi Nkadimeng, who received the order on behalf of her sister, Nokuthula Simelane, who disappeared in 1983. It was a somber mood for the Minister, Thembi Nkadimeng. We saw her giving a hug to her daughter and just, embracing themselves, and they were just celebrating, reliving those moments, I'm guessing. So it was mixed reactions today. But most of those individuals actually who received those awards, about 19 of the 32, received them posthumously, meaning that they've passed away, so their loved ones are the ones that received them on their behalf. But with us is the Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni. Minister, as I was speaking right now, we do talk about the 19 individuals who received those awards, received them posthumously. Are we celebrating our heroes too late?
No, we're not celebrating our heroes too late. These are not the first national orders. There have been a number of national orders. People have received them whilst they were alive. We can give an example of Dr. Simon Sanyena, who passed on yesterday. May his soul rest in peace. He received his award. He was a member of the National Order of the Baobab in Gold. He received it when he was alive, and I can count many. And if God's will was a bit different, Dr. Mraron Doyoyo would have received his award alive. The nominations took place last year in August. He passed on early this year, so he was nominated when he was still alive, but unfortunately God's will, it's a different will. May his soul rest in peace. So this is, if you look at the biography of those who have received the awards posthumously, it was those unsung heroes. It was those, some of them, it was those who were not documented as heroes before, because the national orders have gone and looked at everybody who has contributed to the building of a better South Africa, to the struggle for liberation and freedom of our people, and those who have made great sacrifices for this country. And those the national orders were awarding those. So it's not too late. We have celebrated those who were still alive. We received them whilst they were alive, but we also in the journey, and that's why we said 30 years is never enough. We are in the journey of marking the contribution of everybody who has contributed to building this better country, this prosperous country, who sacrificed for our freedom, and those contributions can never be enough. We'll still go through a journey of the next year and the next levels as they get nominated. So you'll still see some more posthumous, because the struggle for freedom and liberation is now 30 years. It's 30 years after that struggle was persecuted. Then what it means is that then people who are 30 and younger, and if you're a country in particular, majority of our population is 30 and younger, the ones above 60 are less than 6 million, and therefore then as that generation passes on, who contributed to the freedom of and the liberation of this country, you'll then see that majority of them will come in as posthumous. But we have a contribution, like in the order of Mapungubwe, which Professor Doyoyo was awarded for, is the current contributions that people are making in science, in innovation, but in building a better South Africa. So those awards are still coming in. And you saw also those in the arts and creative industry. They are still alive, but we said let's honor them whilst they're still alive. But it's not too late. We've celebrated them when they're alive, and those we have not managed to celebrate them when they were alive, we're now celebrating them posthumously.
Indeed. One of those that were celebrated was renowned journalist Nokuthula Jabavu, who was celebrated for the work that she did during the apartheid government. government. This comes at a time when there are questions being raised about this current government's commitment to media freedom. We had the president in that leaked audio recording in the NEC saying that he will deal with some of the journalists that are actually writing negatively against the current government. But also there has been these questions raised about the sudden basically polygraphy test that is going to be done on the SABC head of news. So can you speak to us about that, since you are the minister in the presidency in charge of the state security?
Thank you. South Africa upholds freedom of the media, freedom of the press. That's why you are able to criticize your government without any recourse and without any censure. And I think the discussion of the NEC of the ANC was, and I cannot talk about it because you cannot verify its authenticity. You know, me and you in the social media space, you know the skating that happens with the audio recording. So people take things out of context. And on the issue of the SABC, maybe let me clarify this. One, the client of SSA is not Mr. Monare. It's not Mr. Monare. It's the SABC. The SABC made a request about the vetting of all their executives. That request came in 2022, as already clarified, and there's a process that gets followed. Mr. Monare has not, his vetting was never completed, but the issues around his vetting, the security level clearance that has to deal with the polygraphy, is the matters that must be clarified by the SABC as the client of state security. State security does not discuss the vetting of individuals, but our client is the SABC. So please ask the SABC to explain what is the purpose of the vetting of their executives, because we vet all their executives as per their request. And just to clarify, there's nothing new about that vetting, of that particular vetting. It's a request that started in 2022, and the state security has been clearing their backlogs in terms of vetting, but the SABC is the client. They'll be best positioned to explain why the executives get vetted. But what I can assure you is that there's no reporter in the SABC, there's no editor of the SABC, there's no journalist of the SABC that goes through vetting, because we want to protect the freedom of the media to exercise their own their media freedom, and to write freely, to speak freely, to interview freely, like you are interviewing me. So I'll leave it to the SABC to clarify as the client. We don't talk on behalf of the clients will have to talk on their own behalf.
Okay, thank you so much, Minister. That is Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, who's also in charge of state security. Just clarifying some of those reports, as you may remember, there was that leaked audio where the president speaks about the media that actually writes negatively against the ANC, where he says that he will deal with the media. We've heard the president actually clarify those statements, saying they were taken out of context. He upholds media freedom. And today, again, we hear the minister in the presidency in charge of state security saying that the current administration does uphold media freedom. Masichaba.
All right, thank you so much, Junior, for that. Junior Khumalo, of course, joins us in Pretoria.